Hey guys, welcome to or back to our channel. I hope that you are super excited for today's video and all of our crazy updates because I have so much to update you guys on. It's not even funny. I will start out by just saying thank you to everybody for being patient. I know that you guys love watching these videos and I appreciate it so much, and you guys are always so understanding when I don't have time or when things come up and change. I know I don't have to say it, but we do appreciate it, and still just having the support and understanding, I guess, because triplet pregnancy can be kind of crazy and overwhelming, of course. Things pop up all the time that change our schedules. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys how weeks 22 and 23 weeks went for me. I'm 24 weeks pregnant, so I just figured I'd toss 22 and 23 weeks in together because not much happened as far as like one single video goes. So here we are. I'm ready to give you guys all the updates. I'm also going to be telling you about my 24-hour hospital stay and then our 22-week scan with the babies and what we found out about baby C at that appointment. And then also just telling you guys some upcoming videos and what we're up to this weekend. And yeah, I don't know. I think that's about it. So I'll go ahead and get started into this video. Firstly, you guys can probably see I'm in a different space. We are at a hotel. Braxton has his first ever art show this weekend in Kansas City, and I'm so excited for him and proud of him. He's worked so hard to get this done. This video will be dropping the first day that it starts. So if you guys are in Kansas City, it's from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. and it's Thursday through Sunday. We would love to see some of you guys or meet some of you if you're in the KC area. I will post his website down below so that you guys can go find more information if you guys want to see his stuff. Overall, I'm so excited for him. I think that it's going to be a great turnout, and he's worked so hard, so we're proud of him for sure. Anyway, so I'll be here in this hotel room for the next like 4 nights, which is great. It's like kind of a mini getaway, I think, and so I'll just be resting this whole time, I guess, and just hanging out here. So firstly, I'll tell you, we are doing a YouTube baby shower, so stick around. I'll give more details to that at the very end, but basically it's for all our YouTube people who have sent in gifts or want to send us gifts from our registry. We're going to be doing a whole video over the people sending us gifts, so stay tuned. Like I said, I'll give you more information for that at the very end of this video. Firstly, I'm going to tell you about 22-week scan with the babies. Honestly, we didn't really find out anything new. I didn't have a growth scan. My next appointment is tomorrow, so I have my 24-week ultrasound tomorrow, which will be an echocardiogram of the babies, and then it will also be a growth scan to see how they're measuring. Sorry, I had to fix my camera really quick. Anyways, so it'll tell us how the babies are measuring, and I'm hoping that they have either gone up in percentiles or have stayed relatively the same. Last appointment, baby A was in the 24th percentile, baby B was in the 4th percentile, and baby C was in the 8th percentile. So they're small, but we are doing the best we can. The doctors told me that I can't be eating anymore. Like, it's not going to change. Some babies just grow smaller due to like placentas or cord issues or just genetics. So day by day, they're also triplets. So that makes it even more of a risk for obviously like growth restrictions, fetal growth restrictions. We will be vlogging all day tomorrow. I'm going to do a day in the life vlog. My mom is coming down to Kansas City with me to go to this appointment because Braxton has stuff to get ready for his show, and I kind of wanted her to be at an appointment because we're going to find out probably some pretty, I don't know, some good information about the babies, and I just really wanted her to be there with me, which Braxton totally understands, and it just works out better for us that way. This is his first appointment he's missing, so he's kind of like sad about it, but overall I think it's going to be a good experience to just have my mom there, and she gets to see the babies too. So we'll have an ultrasound tomorrow and a doctor's appointment, so I'm going to ask them some of the concerns I have. The biggest concern being at our last ultrasound, they sent us a copy of it, and they again were not able to find baby C's stomach. If you watched my anatomy scan video, you'll know we kind of already like had this discussion. I assumed that because they've already seen the stomach, there's no way that he just doesn't have one. I don't think it's more of the fact that he doesn't have one, but it's not able to be visualized, so it probably doesn't have fluids in it or anything in it, and he should be swallowing fluids at this time. So there could definitely be multiple things. I mean, literally A to Z list of things that could be. It could be a genetic, it could be chromosomal, it could be like neuromuscular, it could be esophageal problems, stomach problems, loads of things that it could be. So I don't even know that we will have those answers because I declined to do an amniocentesis to test for chromosomal disorders, only because it puts me at risk for going into early labor, and it's not going to change anything. I mean, it's only going to tell me if there's a problem. It's not going to fix the problem. So I just felt like for my sake, it was best to not be poked in the stomach 3 times with a needle. And they also said like the likelihood that they're going to cooperate for only being poked 1 time in each sac is like not good. good. So they would have to poke me a lot of times, and your chances of going into labor increase with every poke, and it's like, it's not worth it to me because at this point we're not far enough along to not have problems with the babies if they're born. 24 weeks is the age of viability, so they're more likely to survive than not survive if they did have to be born right now, but I'm not going to do anything that would risk going into preterm labor. So for now, that's, you know, it just wasn't an option. It could be something that he just needs surgery when he's born to fix. It could be something that causes a disability. It could be something that he won't live through. So I don't honestly know. The chances of it actually being like normal is pretty low at this point because they've seen it on consecutive ultrasounds that they couldn't find his stomach. Once again, just say a prayer for us. It's always like very hard to not be able to fix what's wrong, and I just have to like take it day by day, and it's like it's very out of my control. So I'm trying to focus on only the things that I can control. Me and Braxton have a lot of questions that need to be answered, you know, as time goes on, but I don't think we need to stress too much about it now. We do want to like prepare, so tomorrow I have some difficult questions to ask as far as, you know, regards to quality of life for baby C. If something were to be, you know, an issue, what our options are, what are some, you know, things that could be wrong with him, and if those are the things, like, are they fixed with surgery? Like, what does the outcome look like? Will he have any problems going forward? And does this cause any problems for baby B because they're twins, they share a placenta? So it's a lot, you know, for sure. The doctors did say just because they share genetic information doesn't mean that one of them always has the same problem as the other, because their DNA splits, but then things can start forming or happening during that time. I think people assume because they're identical twins, like, oh, well, whatever's wrong with C is wrong with B, and that's not true. I actually was like really confused by that because of people saying that on my last comment section on my anatomy scan, but that's actually not true. Things can form during any time during pregnancy. So baby B like doesn't have any soft markers or any indications that anything is even like wrong with him. But I just wondered, like, you know, if there is something wrong with C, like, does that put B at a risk for like preterm labor? There's just a lot to ask about. So we're gonna try and hopefully get some more answers tomorrow, and I will update you guys with that information on Sunday, and also let you know how our echocardiogram goes, where they look at the baby's hearts and, you know, the growth on them. So we'll just see where we're at. Next, I will tell you, if you have followed my social media, you probably saw we were in the hospital for 24 hours. So I'm gonna go into that story. It was like the craziest thing ever, and it was just not a fun time. So I'll just talk about that briefly and then tell you guys a couple other things, and we will get this video done with. Just going forward, I'm letting you know that I'm gonna tell you some personal things, so if you don't wanna hear them, then fast forward or don't watch. So I had some mucus-like stuff come out, and I was a little bit concerned it was my mucus plug, that I was going into labor. And so I called my doctor, basically, and I asked them, you know, should I be concerned? Like, what do you guys want me to do, type of thing. At that point, I started having really, really bad back pains, and it's like, it was like low, dull back pains. And I've had sciatica problems through my pregnancy, which I've mentioned multiple times, but for some reason, just because those things were happening like simultaneously, it like kind of caused me to be like, I don't know. So I called my mom, and she was like, well, why don't you just go ahead and go down there? She decided she would just go ahead and pick me up and take me down there, because Braxton was in between driving like back and forth between Kansas City and our house, which is an hour away, because he's having his show in Kansas City. So she was like, I'll just drive you, like, I'm just gonna pick you up, because she was like a little bit concerned too. And so at that point, I went ahead and we headed down, and then like we were like 10 minutes away from the hospital, and they called and was like, yeah, you need to come in like right now. And I was like, well, I'm 10 minutes away. So luckily we went ahead and just came down anyways. So basically I got to the hospital, they took me into a room, put monitors on the babies and a monitor on me, and, you know, checked all my vitals and everything. Everything looked good. They of course couldn't find baby C's heartbeat, because he loves to just be the little trickster guy and always cause problems. So basically after that, they called like the ultrasound, and my doctor had to come in and like scan my belly to find baby C. They were able to find baby C. His heartbeat was fine. He was moving. He was good. So they had the monitors on all three babies, and then they noticed I was having contractions at that point. I wasn't really feeling them. I mean, maybe like a few here and there, but for the most part, I wasn't like really feeling anything. So I was kind of surprised to hear that I was like having contractions. At that point, I was terrified that I was like in labor, because I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm not even 24 24 weeks yet. This was Monday and my 24-week mark was Tuesday. And I was like, no, Lord, no, like please just let these babies keep cooking. Like I'm not, like we are not prepared at all to have them yet. So then basically they couldn't figure out like what really was going on. I was still having contractions. They decided to take my urine and take, you know, some blood and give me IV fluids. So basically they took blood, gave me an IV, ran fluids through me to see if I was having contractions, maybe to being like dehydrated. They were just like monitoring me to see like what was going on. So basically I was still having contractions that whole time, and we were there for a couple hours. When they finally came in, they decided to check my cervix. They sent off my urine for like a UTI and bacterial infection, and everything was good, so they weren't really sure like what was going on. At that point they checked my cervix, and she checked it first with like the speculum, and she was like, it's closed, it's not even slightly opened, and it's hard. Like it's not showing any signs of softening. And so then she did like a hand examination, like felt in there, and everything was good. She said the same thing, like it's not soft at all, like it's definitely closed. At that point I was hoping I was gonna get to go home and like everything was gonna be all right. So we basically just were continuing to be monitored. I was just like kind of waiting to hear like what was gonna go on. Everything, all of my lab stuff came back normal. Due to my contractions continuing even through IV fluids, I started not feeling good at all. Like I was just not feeling good, and so they were just like not sure, I guess, what was going on. So finally they came in and they were like, we would like to admit you. If you want to go home though, you can, like it's up to you. And I basically told them like, I'd rather go home, but if you're suggesting I stay, then I'll stay. And my mom was like, she'll do whatever you guys like want her to do. And they're like, okay, well we want to keep you and we'll like send you home in the morning if everything looks good. It might be like a 24-hour hold. I was like, okay. We waited and waited and waited. We had to wait like 6 hours to finally get our room. I had to get like a COVID test. I checked my cervix again before I got moved into my room to make sure it was still closed, because at that point, like I said, I had been there for 6 hours still having like some contractions. They gave me like Tylenol and then Flexerol, which is my muscle relaxer that I'm already prescribed, and tried to get like my pain level down, and it was going down at that point. But because I was still having contractions, they were like, we're just gonna go ahead and keep you, you know, whatever. They finally got us admitted into our room at like 11:30 at night, and yeah, they hooked me back up to a monitor. They, you know, switched my IV over and everything, and it was terrible because I was having that bag of fluids go through. It ran through the whole night basically, so if that tells you how much fluids it was. And I had already had a bag previously to that, plus they told me I could start eating and drinking water, so I was like obviously thirsty, and I was getting up like every 20 minutes to pee the whole night. I swear it felt like, and I had to unplug my IV, unplug my contraction monitor, and like wheel everything into the bathroom and then come back out, and like I felt so bad. I was probably waking my mom up. Braxton was freaking out, so stressed out because he couldn't be there with me, because since she was the one who came to the hospital with me, they couldn't switch people out, and so she had to be the one to stay with me. And so he was he felt so bad and he was so stressed out. But honestly, like it was good to have my mom there because she like keeps me calm in those situations, and I don't know, it was nice, you know, peace of mind to have her there for sure. So rest assured, I was in good hands. It was fine. And then finally in the morning they came in and, you know, took my vitals again, gave me all my medications, and everything still looked good. My blood pressure was super good the whole time I was there. It actually was a little bit low at one point, and they were like, you know, as long as it's not high for preeclampsia, like you're good, we're fine with that. Then they finally were like, I think they might let you go home because your contractions have slowed down. Like, are you feeling them? Are you in any pain? And at that point I was maybe feeling like 1 or 2 an hour, and it was just tightening in my stomach. None of them have ever hurt. Like I haven't had any that have like started in my back and radiated to the front, so they're pretty sure they were Braxton Hicks since I wasn't dilating anyways, but just to be sure, they obviously kept me. So since I wasn't like feeling any of them really, and they were more spaced out and not as big, you know, on the screen, they were like, I think they're gonna send you home, but we're gonna check each of the baby's heartbeats again and monitor them. That ended up being like the longest process because the ultrasound people were in like an emergency C-section or something, and so they couldn't bring ultrasound in, so they were trying to find each baby's heartbeat with the fetal monitors. Well, they're so small, they hang out all next to each other, and their heartbeats are like 1 to 2 beats apart from each other, so it's really hard for them to tell if they're on the same baby or if it's a different baby's heartbeat. Total mess. That took forever, and I'm so uncomfortable sitting in the same spot for that long. Like just even filming this video is hard for me to like sit in one spot because I move so much, because one of the babies is in my ribs and it hurts so bad. So I was in like tears. It hurt so bad for just, it was sharp pains. Finally, after like an hour, they got at least like a 15-minute strip where all 3 of the heartbeats were on it, and they would like drop off for a second and then it would come back on. And so they were like, we have to send it to the doctors and see if they're okay with this before they'll let you go. And I'm like, Okay, so luckily the doctors were okay with the strip and they came in and checked my cervix one more time, and for a grand total of 4 times, it was still definitely very closed and we were not in labor, not dilating. So thankfully that was all good. By the time that I was getting released, I was so ready to be home that it was so exhausting being there for sure. But I am glad that they like took good care of us and that they were, you know, better safe than sorry. That's that story. We finally got home and everything, you know, was good to go. I had to get a COVID test when I was there. I had blood drawn twice. I had an IV. So it was definitely a lot. It was not like the most fun experience, but I'm thankful that we are not, you know, having babies right now and that everything was okay. Basically, I'm still not on bed rest, but I'm just resting as much as possible. Like, I really don't do anything for the most part. I haven't been working anyways. And so basically, like, this is all I do is just like sit, edit, work on homework. That's about it. That's really all the updates that I have on the babies. We, like I said, see the doctor tomorrow. I'm going to be vlogging all day tomorrow for you guys, and that video will drop on Sunday, so I hope to have some more updates for you then on the babies. We appreciate your prayers, you know, and you guys keeping us in your thoughts for sure. The virtual baby shower, the YouTube virtual baby shower, is going to be probably like mid-May. Hopefully I'm still cooking these babies, right? So that's the goal. So try to have gifts ordered by, like, I don't know, the first, second week of May. And we're gonna film a whole video of us opening all of the gifts that YouTube people, our YouTube subscribers or YouTube family have sent us. If you're gonna send something, please make sure it has a note. We wanna keep all of the notes for the boys and put them in like a scrapbook so that they can save them forever, because I just think it's so cute. How many people from all over, even like other countries and all over the world, are invested in our journey and care about our boys and have sent things to like help us on this journey. Even if you don't send something of monetary value, we've listed our private mailbox below so that people can send like custom gifts or whatever kind of, like, if there's something you think that we need that we didn't register for, that's all in the description box below. I have both of our registries and our private mailbox. But even if you don't send something of like monetary value, it could be $1 and I would be literally in tears because it's just amazing seeing this. But if you just send a card, we're keeping all that stuff for the boys, you know, with words of encouragement or just, you know, something about our journey and how you're watching us or supporting. It's like amazing to have. So thank you guys so much. We appreciate it all. So with that being said, I am getting your guys' gifts. I'm sure they're all being received. We have them all at my mom's house, but I've been back and forth between houses and then in the hospital. So everything's been kind of crazy, but I promise we'll get to them, and we do appreciate them so much. And I thought that this YouTube baby shower that a couple subscribers had suggested would be a great way to like give back to you guys. And like, I don't know, it's better than just like one shout out on a video. It's like a whole video just showing that we love you guys and appreciate you and your support. Like I said, our registries are below, our private mailbox address is below if you want to send us a card or something, and we love you guys so much. Thank you seriously for everything that you guys do and just being patient with us and also supporting me and the boys on our journey, and we're so excited for everything to come. I hope these babies keep cooking, and I'm excited for Sunday's video too because we have a lot to probably discuss after that. So I love you, thank you, and we will see you in the next video.